Hello, Grumps. No cheap jokes today. I just want to voice my opinion about Charlie Kirk's assassination and have my say on what I'm seeing online, because some of it's disgusting as far as I'm concerned. You know, in all the noise right now, in all the outrage and finger pointing, I just want to pause and say something very simple and very necessary. Charlie Kirk has been murdered. Someone who had a wife, someone who had young children, someone speaking in public about his views, not inciting violence, just speaking, is now dead because someone decided to kill him. We don't have to all agree with Charlie Kirk's politics or beliefs. He was a big supporter of Donald Trump. You may or may not align with your own personal views. It doesn't really matter. I'm not asking you to start liking everything he believed or said. That's not the point of this video. The point is, a human being was taken from his family. A human being was murdered in front of people, and that should shock us. It should sadden us. There is something foundational in civil society, or there should be, that rejects killing someone simply for their speech. If we lose that, we lose more than a life. We lose the ground of discourse. We lose the space to disagree without fear. In the past, when people talk about dictators when they die, or mass murderers, many of us feel little compassion because their hands are stained with so many deaths, with systemic atrocities. That's different in my opinion, because what they did was their own mass violence, their own terror. But this isn't a person who ordered mass killings. This is someone who stood behind a table, in public, speaking. Murdering someone for that is not only unjust, it's scary, it's borderline dystopian. I should say this up front. I'm from the UK and I didn't know much about Charlie Kirk. I have seen quite a lot of his videos. Some of his viewpoints I agreed with, and some I disagreed with. And honestly, that's the whole point of democracy, isn't it? That's what it's meant to be about. Different viewpoints, argued out, debated, discussed, and then you come to a democratic outcome. Sure, not everyone agrees with the result, but you've had your say, you've had your chance, and you've voiced your opinion. And this is the part that angers me so much, really. Our ancestors literally fought for this right, the freedom of speech. It's the very fabric of our society, the foundation that everyday life is built upon. You celebrate it, you teach it, you enshrine it, and yet here we are, with someone dead in public for exercising that very right. And from the outside, from here in the UK, I have to say, it feels like events like this are becoming increasingly common, and that is deeply saddening and alarming. But my main point of this video today is to urge people to think about his family, his wife, his children, what they will see unfold, news reports, speculation, conspiracy theories, public reactions. Some will be disrespectful, some will be respectful, but some will be cruel, some will politicise this pain. But here's the thing, his family don't get privacy. They don't get to grieve quietly in their home. They don't get to choose who knows about it or when. Their worst nightmare is literally happening on the biggest stage possible, with the entire world watching, dissecting, commentating and judging. Imagine not being able to sit in silence with your children without a camera crew parked outside the house, or headlines pinging on your phone every 5 minutes. It must be terrible. They didn't ask for this. They didn't choose to lose a husband, a father, a son, a brother. They didn't ask to see their grief plastered across the social media. They didn't choose to have people debate not just the murder, but the meaning, the motive, the politics, the ideology. They can't even cry in peace without someone online twisting that into some sort of sick narrative. And now, add in the conspiracy theories, the absolute worst part of our culture right now. Before the body is even cold, before the family has even had a chance to breathe, people online are already spinning stories. It's a setup, it's a false flag, it's an inside job, it's staged, and on it goes. And who does that help? Nobody. All it does is drag this grieving family further into the mud. It re-traumatises them, it mocks their pain, and it makes the unbearable even harder to bear. And if you have ever lost someone suddenly, you'll know. Grief is confusing enough on its own. You're in shock. You're trying to process reality and you can barely put one foot in front of the other. Now imagine doing that while millions of strangers argue over whether your loved one's death was even real or what agenda it serves. That's cruelty layered on top of tragedy. This is what his wife and children are living through, and this is what his parents, his siblings, his friends are enduring. They can't even grieve properly. They can't find peace because this murder isn't personal to them, it's become public property. And that's a whole kind of other violence. As I said already, the conspiracy theories are rising. They always happen, they always will, because people just don't want the truth. They want their own version of the truth. But conspiracy theories and speculation can do so much damage. They can prolong the trauma. They can twist the focus away from the basic fact. Someone was killed. And what about those who are quick to say, well, this proves the rhetoric of side A was dangerous, or those who say it shows the dangers of speech from side B? Yes, rhetoric matters, words have consequences, but none of that gives someone the right to murder, none of it. We should resist the urge to turn every tragedy into political ammunition, because in doing that, we risk treating murder as just another point to score, and that's dehumanising. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. The person accused, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah, he had no previous convictions. And where were the signs? Whatever you believe or find out about his motives, whatever ideology, note this, there's another family now caught in this. His family, his relationships, they will now carry the weight they didn't choose. They'll see their names in headlines. They'll be judged or shamed or pitied. They'll have to face consequences, legal, social, emotional, because someone connected to them committed a crime. The loss just ripples outwards, doesn't it? 2 families now broken, 2 households changed forever. Society should grieve. We should all acknowledge the pain, not just those who agreed with him, but those who think differently, because this is a human tragedy first. We should demand the truth. We should demand justice, and we should want transparency about why this happened. Motive, circumstances, responsibility, but that must come alongside compassion. We should try, for our own sakes and for theirs, to resist the trollish voices, resist the sensationalists, resist the people trying to turn this into another culture war checkpoint. And yes, we should reflect on how speech is done in public life, how heated it's become, and how people sometimes have to carry fear. But again, no reflection can justify taking another life. So let's be decent, let's be human, and let's remember someone was murdered. Someone with people who loved him, who depended on him, someone speaking openly, and someone doing what in many countries we celebrate, the right to speak, to express our views. That right becomes empty if someone can be killed for it. And we've seen it before in history. Martin Luther King, he was murdered for speaking his beliefs in public, beliefs that challenged people, but they were still only words, only ideas. And even decades later, we recognise how tragic and unjust that was. This is no different in principle. When someone is killed for speech alone, we all lose. And I'll say this one more time. As someone from the UK, I may not have known much about Charlie Kirk beyond a few videos. And as I said, I agreed with some things and disagreed with others. But that's democracy. That's the system our ancestors fought for. A system built on the right side. To say your piece, to hear the other side, to disagree, and to still move forward together. We should cherish that right. We should defend it for our children, for the next generation. Because if we lose that, we lose more than politics. We lose our humanity. If you feel anger, channel it. If you feel sadness, allow it. But don't let the politics swallow the humanity. Let's make sure this doesn't become another occasion where someone's death is just another headline. Let's make it a moment we don't forget that speech should not lead to violence, that murder is never justified, and most importantly, that we owe kindness, empathy and respect to the people left behind, mainly his family. So, thank you for listening. Serious one today, but I feel strongly about this. Let me know in the comments if you agree. It's a free world, remember. Bye for now, Grumps.